Hello, and welcome to an all-new Unbiased Gear Review. Today, we are taking a look at the Obsidian Humbucker set from Elysian Pickups. So this is a set that Adam from Elysian calls the Obsidian. It's the only set that he's got that really has a name right now. But basically, it's used to describe his more modern sound. He basically makes four sets. He makes a vintage hot, and a modern hot. This is the more modern set. It is not wound super hot. It's only between about 12K and 13K in DC resistance. And it's got a combination of Alnico slugs and a ceramic bar magnet to give it a very, very even tone that captures the best of both worlds as far as ceramic versus Alnico. So talking about the tone of the bridge pickup, this is a pickup set that is very, very modern voiced. So one of the things that you'll find is that being that it is a little bit lower output, it does respond very nicely to changes in pickup height. And it also tends to have a lot more mid-range than you're typically used to from a lot of pickups these days. These days you typically see you still see a lot of kind of slightly scooped mid-range from a lot of more heavy rock voiced pickups. Whereas this pickup set has a ton of mid-range in there. Looking at the frequency spectrum, you see honestly kind of a gradual rise. There's actually a fair amount of low end here. And there's also a lot of lower frequencies and sub-low frequencies even that necessarily might not be the most audible. So that's not a problem. You can easily take those out with a filter. But it basically kind of gradually rises right up until about 200 hertz, and then from about 200 hertz to maybe about 3.5, 4 kilohertz, you'll see kind of a hump going where there's just a lot of mid-range in there, which basically makes this a pickup set that is very, very cutting. Something that a lot of gen players will probably like is a lot of their sound is very, very mids focused. As you can hear, it is a rather articulate pickup. You can definitely hear pretty much all of the notes from the chord. It sounds really, really nice in that respect. The bridge pickup, though, despite the fact that it does have a ton of mid-range, does still have a little bit of treble. Even though there's a dip, there's definitely a considerable dip from the mid-range to the treble, from about 5 kilohertz to about 10 kilohertz. There's still kind of a noticeable plateau where there's still plenty of top end there. It lends itself to a nice sparkly tone that when you initiate the coil tap or when you're playing on a clean channel, it just tends to sparkle just a little bit, but it's not harsh. It's not grating at all, which is very, very nice. Also, when it comes to lead tones, having that extra mid-range bump in there makes this a very nice pickup for recording leads because you've already got a little bit extra mid-range coming from the pickup, which helps it cut through the mix a little bit. Very nice. Now, moving on to the neck pickup, one can easily tell just how modern voiced this pickup set is. Despite it being the neck pickup, this thing has a ton of mid-range presence. So, with the frequency range, this neck pickup has significantly less low end and significantly less high end than the bridge pickup does. But looking at the frequency range, from about 200 hertz, which is still in kind of the low end spectrum, up until about 4 kilohertz, there is still a nice plateau going there. So you've got a little bit of the high end, a little bit of the low end, a whole lot of mid range, and then it just drops off sharply on both sides. What ends up happening is that you've got there again another pickup that cuts very, very nicely through the mix. Perfect for a guitar that you want to maybe set aside for recording solos on. It just jams. It's really something very nice. And also with that neck pickup, you tend to get some really nice clean tones too. Very, very nice, very musical. Definitely something that is a little bit opposite of what I typically go for in a pickup set, but I'm definitely seeing what the use can be for. So if you're like me, where you've got a home studio setup and you do pretty much everything musical within the context of this 10 foot by 10 foot room, this might be a really good pickup set for you because now you can put this in a guitar that you have specifically set aside for recording your leads, and it's going to maybe do a little bit of the work for you as far as the mixing goes. Maybe cut out a little bit of the low end and a little bit of the high end that you're going to see from the rhythm tracking and give your mid-range a little bit of a boost so that it can cut through the mix before you have to do that yourself. Not bad. So I hear what you're saying. You're saying, Arnold, what are you drinking today? Well, I'm glad you asked. Today I am drinking Blondie Bock from Mammoth Brewing Company in Mammoth Lakes, California. Something that was a gift from my wife and her friends Anina and Leonardo. Thank you guys very, very much for getting me a tasty brew to try out today. The pour is very, very orange with a very light creamy head. Definitely pick up a little bit of vanilla and cream notes in the nose. A little boozy. You can definitely taste the vanilla. Definitely the creamy characteristics to it too. Kind of citrusy. Is this aged in barrels? Yeah, okay, aged in Tennessee whiskey barrels. That makes a little bit more sense. And the citrusy notes of the Bach tend to really kind of blend well with the booziness of the whiskey barrels that it's aged in. It just tends to make it very floral. Mm. Yeah, this one is not bad at all. It's not something that I would have like all the time, but it is definitely something that is very good. And if you were to break this out at a party, I would think very highly of you. So that's all I've got. Leave a comment in the comment section below, like and subscribe. There's many more videos to come. Thank you so much.